Chapter 4. "Holy crapola," Mitchell said. "This stuff is intense." The trio had reconvened in David's apartment 2 days later, after they'd reviewed the materials. Jordan had bought 3 copies of the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion from a second-hand bookstore in Harlem. He'd paid in cash to prevent their fledgling secret society from growing a paper trail. The thin paperbacks were dog-eared and coffee-stained, and David wondered how many anti-Semites the book's meandering, diabolical contents had spawned over the years. "That's an understatement," Jordan said. Mitchell said, "There's something I don't understand." "That's as expected." Mitchell ignored Jordan's jibe. "So, there's this meeting of the Elders of Zion, and they discussed their plans for world domination. That much I got. But what's with all the philosophy?" "That," Jordan said, "is because the Protocols was plagiarized from another work of fiction." Jody read from his copious notes on the MacBook Air he'd opened on David's coffee table. "Dialogue in Hell" by Maurice Joly. He staged a philosophical discussion between Machiavelli and Montesquieu as a veiled criticism of Napoleon III, only in the Protocols the philosophers became the Elders of Zion. Mitchell frowned. "That wasn't in the book." "No, Mitch, that wasn't in the book. That's what we call research." Mitchell scoffed. "Typical. We get 1 book for homework and you read 2. Overachiever." David stepped in. "Guys, let's focus on our mission." "There's something else I don't get," Mitchell said. "The Elders of Zion are supposed to be these big, bad boogeymen, but all they seem to want is democracy and free markets. What's so evil about that?" "Those are evil," Jordan said, "if you're Nicholas II. "What's Father Christmas got to do with the Protocols?" "Not Saint Nicholas, you moron. Nicholas II, the last Tsar of the Russian Empire." Jordan sighed at the blank stares, but deigned to explain. "Nicholas II was one of the wealthiest, most powerful men in history. He saw the democracy and freedom spreading across Western Europe as a threat to his absolute monarchy. So the Okhrana, the Russian secret police, forged the Protocols in the late 1800s to discredit the anti-monarchy movements, depicting them as part of an evil Jewish conspiracy." "Well, that's stupid." "And deadly. Nicholas II encouraged pogroms against the Jews in the Russian Empire, claiming the mob violence unified the people behind the government." "Son of a bitch," Mitchell said. "I hope the elders got him." "Mitch, the Protocols is a fake, remember?" "Oh, right." "Historians think they've tracked down the Protocol's creator." Jordan looked at the notes again. "Golovinsky, an Okhrana operative in Paris, showed an early manuscript of the Protocols to a Russian princess, Katerina Radziwill. He boasted that the book he'd forged would frame the Jews for a global conspiracy. Pyotr Rachkovsky, the director of the Okhrana, had created similar forgeries to discredit other perceived enemies of Imperial Russia. Jews had little to do with the fall of the Russian Empire. Nicholas's refusal to adopt political reforms sparked revolutions, which ended his reign. But instead of free markets and democracy, the Russian people got communism, and in 1918 the communists executed the Tsar along with his entire family and entourage." Mitchell whistled. "That's what happens when you mess with the Jews, pal." Jordan turned to David, exasperated. "Has he heard a word I've said?" David changed the subject to get the meeting back on track. "I made a list of action items based on the Protocols, the points that are still relevant." He read from his notepad. 1. Propaganda. Mitchell raised his hand. "Piece of cake. Social media. I get all my news from Facebook. A few targeted ads should do the trick." David turned to Jordan, who reddened. "Actually, I agree with Mitch on that." "I don't believe it," Mitchell said. "The world must be ending." "Great," David said. He jotted down the suggestion and pushed forward. 2. Divert public attention from important to trivial matters. Mitchell raised his hand. "What, like reality TV? LOL cats?" "On second thought," David said, "that's already taken care of." Jordan said, "What about Hollywood? David, maybe you can get Zelig Pictures to plant a few subliminal messages?" David swallowed hard. He had hoped to avoid revealing how Zelig Pictures had been stolen from under his nose. "The thing is," he said, "I don't have any real influence. I've never been able to push any of my own scripts into production, so—" He trailed off. "Sorry," Jordan said. "Bummer. Mitchell said. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Dave drew a line through item number 2. 3. Censorship of the press. Do we have any contacts at traditional media outlets? We could buy a newspaper, Jordan suggested. Screw that. Mitchell again. Nobody believes the fake news anymore. What's next? 4. Encourage atheism and pornography. Ha, Mitchell said. Plenty of that going around, boys. Just ask Geordie boy about the porn. He hasn't had a date in years. Jordan kept his eyes on his laptop screen but raised a finger in warning. Don't go there, Mitch. David said. Come to think of it, I don't see how either atheism or pornography helps us. Moving on. 5. Promote a Jewish king. Does anybody want a king? I didn't think so. 6. Control the stock markets. Jordan waved his finger. Insider trading, that's illegal. David crossed it off the list. So much for that. 7. Nullification of education. What education? Mitch asked. And organization of disorder. Jordan waggled his finger again. Inciting to riot, illegal. Okay, then. What does that leave us? David counted the items on his fingers. Propaganda, aka social media ads. That's it. Mitchell said, How's that going to help us stop the next synagogue shooter? Jordan said, We could monitor anti-Semitic accounts, look for suspicious activity, and tip off law enforcement. Good, David said. I like that. He jotted it down. What else? David's pen tapped against his notepad as the afternoon sun sank over the glittering waters of the Hudson. The horn of a barge honked, the sound muffled and far away. I don't know, Mitchell said. He sounded disappointed. Snooping around social media and snitching to the cops, is that the best we can do? That's not exactly in the spirit of the elders of Zion. We need to fight the bad guys head on. Jordan scoffed. We could wear capes and beat up thugs in the streets. Mitchell's eyes lit up. Now you're talking. For the record, I was being sarcastic. The elders of Zion didn't have superpowers, and neither do we. I thought you said they never existed. Mitchell flashed the whites of his eyes, convinced he'd caught Jordan out. And neither does Batman. David said, Mitchell has a point. A secret society should have real power. The trio shouldn't be just another neighborhood watch. Mitchell said, Yeah, we should be like the Punisher. Geordie snorted. Why not Superman? At least he was created by Jews. He was? Sure, like the Golem of Prague, a hero with superhuman strength who protects the powerless. Only the golem was made of clay. Come to think of it, Mitch, you have a lot in common with a golem. Hey, watch it. Guys, David said, we're trying to find a real way forward here. Comic books and superpowers aren't helping, and neither is your constant fighting. His friends holstered their sarcasm, and the trio pondered the problem in silence. Information is power, Jordan said. The beginnings of a smile curled David's lips. He liked this new direction. Even Mitchell got on board. Nice. We collect embarrassing information about powerful people and blackmail them to do what we want. Extortion is illegal, Mitch? Geez, Geordie, how are we supposed to run a secret society if we never break the law? That's why it's secret, so we don't get caught. Don't be naive, Mitch. We live in a digital age. The NSA knows everything about everyone. The only way to stay out of prison is not to break the law. Which reminds me, we must use secure communications from now on. To cover our digital tracks, we'll connect to the internet through a VPN and browse the web with Tor. Whoa, easy on the mumbo-jumbo, dude. Relax, Mitch, I'll set it up for you. Here, have a look. David and Mitchell shifted closer to their techie friend and his laptop. Jordan clicked on an icon and a browser window opened. Tor is an anonymous browser which encrypts and routes all traffic through multiple anonymous servers. It's our untraceable window to the dark net. The dark net, Mitchell repeated. I like the sound of that. What is it? Sites hidden from regular search engines like Google. What's Torch? David said, reading the name of a search page that looked very last millennia. Tor search. Google for the dark net. It allows you to search for hidden sites, forums, you name it. If it's out there, you'll find it. Search for something. In the search box, Jordan typed the words, Elders of Zion, and hit enter. The long list of results surprised David. Where's Wikipedia? This is the dark net, David. Oh, right. Try that one." He pointed and Jordan clicked. After 5 seconds of stunned silence, Mitchell said, "Holy crap, are these guys for real?" The page displayed an Elders of Zion forum. Jordan clicked through the discussion threads. The subject lines read world domination, creating disorder, propaganda, and diversions. But the messages were short and cryptic. Only an adept would understand their true meaning. The usernames had a biblical bent. Azari 3L, Samael 1, Jacob, Delilah 666. The floor fell out from David's stomach. He'd just created a Jewish secret society, but all the while the Elders of Zion already existed, lurking in the dark underbelly of the internet. "Some members are online," Jordan said. Mitchell said, "Chat with them." "Which one?" "Any of them." Jordan registered at the forum, using a weird-looking email address and Dark Horse as his username, then opened a chat window with JewBabe29. "Hi," he typed. "Hi," Mitchell said. "Is that all you've got? No wonder you never get any." "This is the darknet, Mitch. JewBabe29 could be a 200-pound hairy guy, or more likely an NSA agent." The speakers emitted an electronic beep and a reply appeared in the chat window. "Hi." "Wow," Mitchell said, deadpan. "You sure know how to sweep a girl off her feet." "What should we say?" "What should you say?" Mitchell corrected him. "You're the guy hooking up on the darknet. We're just looking over your shoulder." "Thanks a bunch. I knew you'd have my back." "Ask how we join them." "They'll know we're outsiders," David said. "Ask what's new." Jordan typed and they waited for the buzz. The reply read, "Same old." "Does she know we're not one of them?" "Hard to tell." The buzz sounded again. The three men stared at the screen. "Dark Horse wanna ride? What is that, code?" "She's flirting, Jordy boy. Go on, flirt back." Jordan shrugged. He typed, "Ride to Zion?" and hit enter. "Ride to Zion? You call that flirting? What was that?" "That's me signaling we're one of them." "You're sad, man. So sad." Another buzz sounded. "Gotta run," JewBabe29 wrote, followed by a series of characters. "See you at CS." And JewBabe29 left the chat session to the sound of a closing door. "See you at CS," David read, his heart pounding in his ears at their unexpected progress. What's CS? Is that a person or a place? They voiced some suggestions. Coming soon, caught stealing. Jordan searched the web for more. College Station, computer science. They were getting nowhere. Was CS even in English? David wished he'd taken Latin instead of French in college. She'd said see you. A meeting would take place soon. Somewhere in the world, the Elders of Zion were getting together, and David would miss the event. Then Jordan laughed apropos of nothing. David and Mitch stared at him. "What is so funny, Jordy?" David said. "I know what CS is. It's obvious when you think of it. Where else would members of a darknet forum meet?" "Spit it out, Jordy." Jordan shut down Tor, opened a regular internet browser, and searched the legal web for 2 words. Wherever the elders were convening, David would be there. He'd buy a plane ticket if he needed to. The page loaded. "Oh," David said. The answer made sense, and he wouldn't need a plane ticket. The Elders of Zion were meeting tonight in Manhattan.